Hello there, and welcome back to Build with the Boys. Bit of a weird one, this one, but I received an email today from Fanhome, which I'm sure some of you did as well, which had a lot of information on it about potential builds that they're working on, might be bringing us in the future. They're all Marvel based, so all of these are Marvel based. If you've not had this email, check your emails; it might be there. But it was a survey saying, you've built Marvel models from us in the past, because we're signed up to do the Gauntlet. We built, obviously, Iron Man over here. Wanting to know what we'd be interested in next. So the questions started off like the same as they always do. What attracts you to this? What makes you want to do this? What appeals to you? What doesn't appeal to you? All that. But then it starts getting a bit more interesting. So they ask about, would you be open to smaller models, less parts, less time? Yes, I would be. I've said this a lot. I don't understand why every single model has to be 100 issues, 120 issues, 140 issues. There's definitely a market for shorter runs. I mean, I'm not talking tiny, I'm talking like a year, right? So if you could do it where it's like, okay, it's a 50-part model, smaller model, less complicated model with 50 parts, there's definitely a market for that. Because I think everybody wants to sign up for 2 years. You know what I mean? I think so if you could do something that was not quite as intricate, still a good model, but something that, I'm not saying downgrade the quality or downgrade the detail of it, but something that doesn't require that level of it. And you'll see what I mean when we come to some of these. Then they listed all of the ones they're kind of proposing. And some are great, some not so much. Some of these I'm very interested in. But what I thought we'd do is we'll take a look at them and I'll sort of tell you how I feel about them, but I'm very interested to know how you feel about them. So I'd be interested to hear if any of these, really float your boat and you're like, man, if they did that, I'm doing it. So let's take a look at the first one. Groot. So build your own Groot. 60 centimeters. Now I do have a bit of an issue with this one, right? So one is what's the material going to be on Groot? How would that be? Would this be plastic? I can't see it being a metal. Would it be some kind of resin? Would it be the plastic like they've used with the Alien? Would it be like a lycra material, which would be weird as soon as it's supposed to be wood? So I don't know what that would be. I'd be interested to find out. Issue number 2 is Groot's going to be 60 centimeters. Okay, so if you're going to display him next to your Iron Man over here, who I think is coming in at around 63 centimeters, Groot's going to be about 3 centimeters shorter than Iron Man. So that Groot needs to, I'd say, be at least 70 centimeters for that to be viable, really. Because again, if the idea is, and you'll see when we come to some more of these, that you could start having like a menagerie of these, I think you're going to want your Groot tall. Groot's tall, you're going to need him taller than that. I know Groot can change his size and whatnot, but realistically, I think Groot needs to be at least, scale-wise, a foot taller than Iron Man. He just has to be. Now, naturally, it's not going to light up. It doesn't have any movement. It's a maquette is what you're building. It's similar to Iron Man, and I know how I felt about doing the Iron Man build, but I've accepted that is the way these builds are done. Groot, I don't know how that works. Again, as a 60 centimeter, I don't know if this is one they're talking about with reduced parts, because he is going to have less parts to put on him. He's just going to, because he's not going to have all these robotic parts and details that the Iron Man has, or even the RoboCop has. So there is less to him. I mean, I know you've got all these different panels and whatnot of him, but I would imagine you'd have to scale that down. You couldn't do him over 100 parts. I'm sure they'd find a way. But I don't know. So is that one I'd be interested in? I don't think so. I think without seeing what they're proposing, straight off the top of my head, I'd say no. I'm not really interested in building a Groot. I'm not interested in building that Groot. More to come on that. So it's I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one. Would you want to build a Groot? I'm interested. Would you want to build Groot? If Groot was available, would you want to build him? They're saying that it's got a button where he'll talk. We know what he's going to say. So it's only going to say one thing. What else can it say? Unless maybe it plays tracks from the Awesome mix, but I can't see that because the license and the tracks would be too high. So I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one. But that's the first one. So let's look at the next one. So Iron Man's nano gauntlet. Now I see why, right? I get it. If we're making the Infinity Gauntlet, I can see why a nano gauntlet kind of makes sense to put next to it. So this is a 1-to-1 scale, so it will be significantly smaller than the Infinity Gauntlet because it is. But would I build it? No, I can definitely see the appeal in having both of them. I can. But for me, the Nano Gauntlet is nowhere near the level of kind of importance to that universe or significance or culturally relevant as the Infinity Gauntlet. The Infinity Gauntlet was a thing for years, right? I mean, it was building up and building up and building up. And the Nano Gauntlet was a plot device to get the stones off Thanos. That's all it was. So I mean, it appears in very few scenes, and even though it is key to the end of that movie, for me the Nano Gauntlet ain't there. It's not where it is. But I can see it selling. I think if they bring that out, I think a lot of people are going to be on that and they're going to want it. And I completely understand that. But again, I'd be interested if you're building the Infinity Gauntlet, would you build the Nano Gauntlet? If you're not building the Infinity Gauntlet, would you build the Nano Gauntlet? I'd be interested to know how you feel about that one. Let's see the next one. Thanos' armor. Now, this one's weird to me because it's not Thanos. So you're not building a maquette of Thanos. You're not building a figure of Thanos. You're just building his armor. So I would imagine there's some stand or whatever it is where the armor goes, kind of like in the movie where his armor's now a scarecrow. I would imagine that's what this is. 60 centimeters, around about the same height as Iron Man. But it's just the armor. It's not Thanos in the armor. It's just the armor. I find that weird. Again, I assume this is one that has lesser parts because you're not building a body, you're just building the armor. So I assume this is one of the ones they're talking about that would have less parts. I assume, because I'm telling you now, if there was 100 issues just to build a small version of his armor, can't see anyone going for it. Just can't. But that's what they proposed. So that's a weird one, that one. It's not Thanos that you're building. It's just the armor. It's Thanos' armor. That's weird. I can't see anyone going for that. Nah, because I would have this giant gauntlet and a tiny set of armor to go next to it. Bit weird. So I don't think I'd go for it. Unusual one, but again, I'm interested. Would you want to build Thanos' armor? Would that be something that would appeal to you? If it was a lot bigger, maybe. But at that, nah, can't see it. Weird one, that one. But let's look at the next one. The Iron Patriot. Let's face it, it's a different colorway for Iron Man, isn't it? That's what it is. So again, I see it. I kind of get it. And if you're big into Iron Man, you're gonna want Iron Patriot. I can see that completely. But would I build it? No, I've just built the Iron Man. Did I enjoy building the Iron Man? No, I did not. No, I didn't. I love the Iron Man figure. I think he's great now he's done, but building him sucked. I didn't enjoy it. I just didn't. I know some people did, but for me, nah, man. Those packs, you wait a month and I could build the entire pack in 8 minutes. No, not for me. So would I build an Iron Patriot? No. No, I just wouldn't. It's not for me. But again, I'm interested to hear if you want him. If you want what's essentially the exact same figure, but with a different colorway, would you want him? I'm sure people would, but I can't see that being I can't see a lot of people going for that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I can't. The next one, I can see having appeal, depending on how they do it. But take a look at this one. So that's a 1-to-1 replica of Captain America's shield. Now, again, I see the appeal of this, but it depends how they're going to do this. Because if they're going to do this over 100 issues, the amount of money that would cost, you can buy a very, very nice 1-to-1 scale replica of Captain America's shield for a lot less than that would cost. So it depends how they're going to do this. If this is one that they're doing at the 50 part count, I can see the appeal because you're like, actually, yeah, that's a very nice, and I got to build it and it'll be good. And again, it depends how they're going to do that. If it was a case of building the frame and then we get those complete rings to attach to it to create it, fine. But if that's going to be made up of panels, that's going to look bloody awful. So again, I need to see more. I couldn't say, yeah, I'd buy that without seeing it. I'd need to know what the piece count was on that one, because if it's over if it's over 50, no would be my answer. No way. Because again, as I said, you can buy very, very nice metal replicas of Captain America's shield for a fraction of what that would cost. I know they say, you didn't build it. I know, but let's face it, building that's not going to be fun. Well, that is essentially what you're building, is those that aren't enjoyed the Enterprise D of making the saucer of that. It's that. It's going to be the same sort of construction of that, isn't it, really? So I see the appeal to it. Again, if I've got the gauntlet, I see the appeal of having the shield. But if I wanted a shield, you can just go get shields. So it really depends how they do it. If the price point is right, if the piece count is right, if the build is right, yes, I can see a lot of people going for it, and I'd probably do it. But I need a lot more information what they're currently giving. But they are saying it's a 1-to-1 scale, and we'll see. Here's the next one. Black Panther. So again, I can see appeal to this one. That Black Panther's the same size as your Iron Man over there. And in the blurb, it says that he does have a light up effect. So what would happen is the vibranium sort of coursing through the suit would light up. You get that pulse. Quite like that. Would it be for me? No, I wouldn't build that one. Because again, I mean, I'm biased because I know how I feel about the figures, but also I'm not a big Black Panther guy. I'm not, so it's not. I know a lot of people enjoyed the movie, but again, I've been reading comics for years, and Black Panther was it's all right. I used to buy Black Panther, but no, I just for the commitment to the model, would I want a Black Panther personally? No, but I think that would look good. So I'm not knocking that. I think it would be a good model. I think it would sell as well. And I think if they got that pulse light right on the suit, I think it would look great. And I can see people going for it. I really can. But personally, no, it wouldn't be for me. It wouldn't be for me. But it's still a nice one. Here's the next one. Tony's Art Reactor. I really like that. I think that's great. And again, that's got to be a lower piece count. It has to be. It's a 1-to-1 scale replica. So it's this big. It can't be 100 parts. You can't. There isn't 100 parts to go into it. So I believe this is what they're talking about when are you interested in a simpler model with lesser parts? Yeah, we are, but that doesn't mean you can charge us the same price for less parts. So it depends what we're talking here. If they're saying, it's higher quality materials, therefore it's the same price as an Iron Man, or it's the same price as an Infinity Gauntlet, but there's a lot less parts, now you can keep it. However, if it is the kind of the average of $10.99 a part, and this is done in 40 parts, yeah, I'd be in. I'd take a shot at that one. I think that'd be fun. I do. I like it. That's, yeah. Again, though, you can get very good replicas of that for probably less money than it's going to cost you to make when you do have the fun of making it and you built it. But I think when it comes to Marvel Artifacts, a lot of these things are available in very good quality. So it depends how you feel about it. But again, I do see the appeal to it. Let's look at the next one. Now we're talking. I mean, we're starting to get big here. That's 85 centimeters. That's huge. Huge, right? So just to put that into scale, that's bigger than the gauntlet at 85 centimeters. That's bigger than the Infinity Gauntlet. That's massive. And it's a bust of Spider-Man's head. Yeah. It's not just the head, it's the upper body. That's huge. 85 centimeters, that is massive. I'm assuming they've got those sizes wrong. Or I've got those sizes wrong. Let me double check that. No, I'm right. That's 85 centimeters, which makes me bloody wonder, how is that 1-to-1 scale? That's a lot of Spider-Man. I mean, when you think about how big the gauntlet is, that's huge. That is absolutely massive. Would I build it? I don't know. I quite like it. It's the Iron Spider, which is a bit I would have preferred Spider-Man, but I kind of like it. I got to be honest with you. It lights up, and I've never built a bust before. I'd be interested in doing one. And I don't know. But they have got another bust that I wanted to look at. And I think I'd rather build this one. That's more like it. So, right, I know I've built this Iron Man, but if I'm going to build a bust, that Iron Man, that'd be nice. Full scale Iron Man bust. I'm like, wow, that's yeah, that's tempting, right? That's nice. That look really nice. Again, you can buy busts of the Marvel characters, but before someone tells you, oh, you can get it for much cheaper than no, you can't. Right? If you want a good bust of a Marvel character, a good full size bust, they cost a bloody fortune, an absolute fortune. I came this close to buying one of the thing when I was younger, when I had disposable money. Do you know what? It was that, and you could also get the skeleton of Wolverine's arm with the claws in like a tube. And this close, I was in Florida. I had my hand on it. I was taking it to the checkout to buy. This close. If it wasn't for that, it might get damaged in transit. I'd have bought it. So no, those busts are really bloody expensive. If you want a Marvel bust, a full size one, they are really expensive. So this might actually work out better, depending on how they do it. But looks kind of nice, doesn't it? I can see the appeal. A full size Iron Man bust. I quite like the idea of that, man. Check the next one out. Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, 52 centimeters. We're looking at about this. Again, can't be 100 parts. Just can't be. I'm sure they could find a way to do it, but that's got to be one of these ones they're talking about. Less parts, which is fine. If it's less parts, it's less money, right? If they're thinking, so instead it's less parts but charge you 20 quid an issue, that shit ain't gonna fly. That's not gonna work for anybody, I don't think. But if they do that, the piece count's right, the price is right, then yes, I'd be interested in building it. They're saying it comes with leather. I'd be interested. I would be interested. I'm not saying I'd buy, but I'm interested. It's like you had my curiosity, but now you have my attention. Depends on what price we're talking. Because again, you can get very good one-to-one scale replicas of the hammer in very good materials. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Weight would be important for me with that as well. I couldn't have a light hammer. I'd need that to have some weight, some heft. You know what I mean? But would you be interested in building the hammer? I kind of would. I got to be honest with you. I know it's just a hammer, but again, if it was 40 parts and you could build it over 10 months, I'd be in. I'd give the hammer a shot. I think it'd be fun. Let's look at the next one. War Machine, everybody's least favorite Avenger. Because it's low rent Iron Man, isn't it? I mean, that's what it is. It's Iron Man with a shoulder cannon. That's all. That's all War Machine ever was. But again, if you are an Iron Man nut, you are gonna want War Machine. I'm sure. If you could get War Machine and Iron Patriot in this scale, I'm sure you'd probably go for him, right? I'm not. Again, it would just be like building Iron Man again, and I ain't doing that. But again, I'd be interested. Would you want a War Machine? I don't. But let's look at the next one. Baby Groot. It's a one-to-one scale, so it's a full scale Baby Groot. That's what that is. Would I build him? Yeah, I would. He's one-to-one scale. I put him on my shelf. I definitely build him. I'm not a mad fan of Baby Groot, but think about it. That's the only Marvel character, with maybe the exception of Rocket, where you're going to be able to build a one-to-one scale version of that character. So would I build him? Yeah, I would. I'd totally go for that. If they did Baby Groot in a one-to-one scale, I'd build it. I'd definitely build it. I like the idea of doing the ET model that was trialed in France. So would I build Baby Groot in a one-to-one scale? Yes, I love one-to-one scale. I love one-to-one scale. So yeah, I think I would. Full scale Baby Groot? Yeah, I think I'd go for that. Let's look at the next one. This is a weird one, the Circular Hall of Armour. So this is basically a display case, a buildable display case for your Iron Man, but not just for your Iron Man. You could put the Iron Patriot in that. You could put your War Machine in it. You could even put your Black Panther in it or your Groot because it all fit. Would I build it? Maybe. Maybe I would. Yeah. I mean, you're not going to build if you haven't built Iron Man. You ain't going to build that, right? Or if you're not building one of the other ones, you're not going to build any of those. So it's I don't know. It's a bit of an unusual one. I don't know. Take another look at it. I don't know. I like it, but I think I'm just done with Iron Man. But I can see people going for that. I can. It seems weird that that wasn't the premium base. You know what I mean? But that's what they've gone for. So that was the kind of Marvel ones they rolled out. Now, none of these are in trial or anything like that at this point. This is them just testing the waters. Who likes this? And I'm sure if any of these have an overwhelmingly positive response, it'll probably end up going to prototype and going to trial, and you might see one turn up. But these are the ones that are kind of proposing at the moment are, which one we're going to go for? We got all these. What we're going to go for? What we're looking at? And that's where, but that's not all they're looking at, because at the end they ask you if you'd be interested in models from any of the following franchises, and I've written them all down. They started with, would you be interested in Guardians of the Galaxy, Batman, Doctor Who, which I know a lot of you are going to go for, Alien and Prometheus, Firefly, Star Trek, The Expanse. You've got to forgive me, I have no idea what that is. Star Wars, Pacific Rim, Stargate, and Battlestar Galactica. So these are all ones they're looking at the moment. They didn't go any further on those, but they were just, would you be interested in anything from any of these licenses? So that doesn't mean that's going to happen, but this is just what kind of where they're testing the waters. Now, I would imagine what's happened here is, with them inheriting the Eagle Moss stuff and them seeing, okay, and Fanhome itself now being around pop culture, that's what it is, as opposed to D'Agostini's main site, which deals in, random ships and historical vessels and cars. Fanhome focusing strictly on pop culture. They're going to need more pop culture. That's what's going to happen. They're going to need more pop culture. So this is what they're reaching out to. Marvel's always been a hit for them with the figure collection, the Iron Man, and also the Gauntlet has been very well received by all accounts, even though it's just a Gauntlet. A lot of people are interested in the Gauntlet. Makes sense that they're now testing the waters. What else can we do from Marvel? So I'm interested to hear. I genuinely am, because that's my personal opinion of how I feel about those. None of them, I'll be honest with you, none of them at all grab me and say, yes. What would have, if the Milano had been on there, hands down, yep, I would definitely build the Milano. If the Milano had been a build, I would have, in a heartbeat, said, yes, I'll build the Milano. Everything else, the answer I gave them was, not sure, possibly. That was it. There was nothing I go, 100% yes, I'd do that. Oh, Baby Groot. I would build Baby Groot. But I don't know. I need more information on all of them. I need to know more, because there's no point in me saying, yeah, I'd definitely build the Shield. And they say, it's 100 issues. No way am I building the Shield. That's the way it is. They're like, 45 issues. Yeah, I'll build the Shield. 100 issues? Forget it. It's like the Hammer. 40 issues? Yeah, I'm in. 80 issues? Nah, I'm out. So I'd need a lot more information about what they propose to do with those. It's safe to say that the figures, I think with the exception of maybe Groot, all of the figures like War Machine and Iron Patriot and Black Panther, I think it's safe to say those will be 100-issue runs. But I'm interested. I mean, it's some variety. And I mean, those busts as well, I can see those being popular. Let us know. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear. But that's what we got. And if you are signed up to Marvel Builds Through Fanhome, you've probably got this email. Go run the survey yourself. You'll see all the questions they're asking you. One of the ones is about, would you like thicker magazines? Absolutely not. I don't want the magazine at all, to be honest with you. I would be absolutely fine with online building instructions. It's a personal preference, but I don't need the magazines. I don't, because I think anything that reduces the costs, brilliant. So if you can do away with printing the magazine and stop jacking the prices up, do that. That's what I want. But let us know what you think. If you haven't yet, please remember to like and subscribe, because we've got lots more fun stuff coming up on the channel. In a world where you can be anything at all, just be nice. If you want to contact us at buildingtheboys@outlook.com, and I will see you very, very soon for more fun and games. I'll catch you next time.